AVC Sports presents high school basketball. Tonight's game is brought to you by Doan Ford, patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Woodsfield Savings Bank, The Rogers Company, and Valentine Insurance.
Good evening, everyone. We are live here tonight in New Concord on the campus of John Glenn High School, where the Little Muskies of John Glenn host the Meadowbrook Colts. This is a Muskingum Valley League basketball big school, small school crossover contest. The Colts of Meadowbrook, led by second-year head coach Taryn Jarrett, make the trip from Byesville, having experienced a transition season. The Colts enter tonight's contest winless in 15 attempts. John Glenn enters tonight's contest with an overall record of 8-7 and 6-3 in MVL play. The Little Muskies are under the direction of head coach Eric Scheck and sit in third place of the MVL Big School Division. My name is Mike Snively, and I will be describing tonight's action. There are three ways to enjoy tonight's game. On air, we are on the NASH Icon, which is 98.5 FM out of Zanesville and 107.9 out of FM out of Cambridge. You can also watch the game on YRPtv YouTube or Facebook page. Joining me tonight is Howard Twiggs on the color. Howard, Meadowbrook comes in struggling, and they're going to face a John Glenn team who's kind of searching for some consistency. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, let's start with Meadowbrook, Mike, and it's no secret that this is a team who has to have improvement, and they need to see that improvement every game. In some cases they've made a few steps, but talent, as you well know, as most folks know, is it takes over a basketball game or a season, so they just haven't made enough of a leap. Yeah. At the same time, you've got a young coach in Coach Jarrett, and sometimes a young coach's enthusiasm will help carry you along the rough roads, and it's probably a good fit for Coach Jarrett with a team that's really struggling. For John Glenn, 8-7 on the season, by most standards, that's a good season, especially when you play the likes of Tri-Valley, who's very good.
Yes.
Sheridan, who's very good, and a good big school division in the MVL.
Not to mention Maysville's undefeated this year.
Yeah, we forgot about the Panthers. Yeah. So they're okay. I mean, it's more likely that for the Muskies, keep working on things. Stay focused in this game, because it could get out of hand very early, as we've seen most of the time with the Colts. But stay focused, improve, do some things that we need to work on for down the road, because you've been in this situation, when you're nearing the end of the season, even though you don't talk about it, it's in the back of your mind. You want to get ready for tournaments.
Right. And speaking of tournaments, I just heard the girls' drawings only a few weeks away, so that means the week after is going to be the boys' drawings. It flies by, Howard, and it's weird that we were talking about John Glenn Meadowbrook struggling, having a rough year. Talking with Coach Taryn Jarrett, he said actually Eric Scheck, coach for John Glenn, called him last week, and I mentioned this last week in the broadcast, and said, Taryn, you may go on to coach 40 years. This is your second year. You may never have another year like you had last year, and you may never have another year like you had this year. And that's kind of where he's at. You're going to have many years that are kind of in the middle of that.
The interesting thing about that, when you talk about last year, a great run all the way to the regionals, and this year you haven't won a game. So you're saying, okay, I've got a really outstanding team, and I don't have a very good team this year. But what that comes down to is, Mike, and you well know this as well as most people, is you got to have kids. Yeah. And right now, Meadowbrook, to their credit, they're giving it a shot, but they just don't have the kids.
They don't have the kids. Well, tonight's kind of a triple header. I should say a double header and a half, because the John Glenn freshman team hosted Rosecrans earlier at 5 o'clock, and they were able to beat Rosecrans 47-31. Then we just had a two-quarter JV game due to lack of numbers. Meadowbrook did beat John Glenn in that two-quarter JV game 16-15.
And that's a building block.
That is
if I were coaching Meadowbrook, and I'm sure Coach Jarrett has done this kind of philosophy, is I wouldn't worry so much about winning games as I would about winning quarters.
Right, you're right.
If we can come out of tonight's game not necessarily concerned about winning the game, but let's win a quarter, guys. Let's try to win 2 quarters. And I think that's the philosophy that I would go about.
And another point I'd like to make, too, and the one thing Meadowbrook's really been struggling with is turnovers. And John Glenn, we know they're going to come out and they're going to play 9 or 10 guys tonight, and they're going to try to wear down Meadowbrook, and they're going to have them running all over the court. Meadowbrook's up around 25, 30 turnovers a game, and when you're averaging a turnover a minute, it's really going to be tough to win games doing that.
Well, when you average 30 points a game offensively and give up 60 and average 25 turnovers, you're talking possibly 20 possessions.
20, yeah.
If you shoot 25%, you're going to need some heavy officiating, brother, to try and get to the line a few times.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll take a quick break. You are listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv.
And take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
In your time of need, will you be happy with your cut-rate car insurance? Will you have the coverages you need? Valentine Insurance is dedicated to protecting you and your family when you need it. As an independent insurance agency, we have partnered with many reputable insurance companies who even have local claims adjusters to provide you with unbeatable service. Are you going to trust a talking lizard to help you with your claim? Really? Don't let this happen to you. Trust the professionals at Valentine Insurance. Call 994-1776.
Welcome back to the Fish Tank here at John Glenn High School. Mike Snively joined by Howard Twiggs. Tonight the John Glenn Muskies host the Meadowbrook Colts. Let's really look quickly at these starting lineups. First for Meadowbrook, Cordell West, a 5'8 senior. Gunnar Davis, a 6'1 sophomore. Easton Iboy, a 5'10 senior. Justice Hugh, a 5'10 sophomore. And Dane Singleton, a 6'3 senior. For John Glenn, Caleb Larrick, the 6'6 junior, will start in the post. A 6-foot senior, Caden Walls. Sophomore Will Nikolazakis gets the start tonight. He's 5'7". Nathan Walker, the Little Muskies' little leading scorer, the 6'4 senior, will start at the wing, and Bexley Woodard, a 6'3 senior, will start for the John Glenn Muskies. We're going to take a quick break here, get the national anthem in, and meet the officials. We will be right back. You are listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv.
I was sitting in my car, and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood, and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio, I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door, and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
Now located at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell, Ohio. Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a mutual insurance company established in 1896 for the purpose of providing insurance coverage to rural Ohio. They offer a product to meet your insurance need, whether it is for a farm, rental dwelling, home in town, secondary or seasonal dwelling, churches, or mobile home. They partner with Grinnell Mutual Insurance Company to offer liability coverage to package with their patrons Buckeye Mutual policy. Call today at 638 3604 and follow them on Facebook at Patrons Buckeye.
Our community is a special place, and you work hard to make a living and build a good life for you and your family. It's not always easy. You deserve a local financial partner to be there when you need them most. At Woodsfield Savings Bank, we live, work, and play here. Our cutting-edge technology combined with local decision-making allows us to deliver unmatched personal service. Let us start earning your trust today. Woodsfield Savings Bank. It's personal here.
I'm not buying till I check Down Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
Welcome back to New Concord. Mike Snively alongside Howard Twiggs. Tonight, the Meadowbrook Colts make the 16-mile trip from Guernsey County over to New Concord to face MVL foe John Glenn. So Howard, we're announcing the starting lineups, and one thing I was thinking about in the pregame, and we talked about this, and having covered Meadowbrook and John Glenn, I'm going to go a different route here. Both these teams the most all year. I noticed one thing. Both of them have outstanding pep bands. I threw you off course there. I threw you off a little bit, didn't I?
You know what, though? I mean, I'm telling you what. Not enough is mentioned and said about bands.
No.
Those kids work very hard. They give a great effort. They're sometimes underappreciated and overlooked, but congratulations to both of them for your recommendation, Mike.
I really enjoy a pep band at a basketball game because it really adds to the atmosphere. So really good job this year by the Meadowbrook pep bands and the John Glenn pep bands. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Okay, so both team starters are announced. We're going to get ready to tip it up here in New Concord.
And Meadowbrook will be in the traveling orange with white numerals and trim. The Muskies in the home white with maroon, shall we call it, numerals and trim. And Coach Scheck getting his last-second words of advice into. I'm guessing that both teams are probably going to go man, Mike.
I would think. I've seen Meadowbrook a couple times getting that sagging 2-3. And if you start missing a couple shots here and then you start thinking a little bit too much about it. So, Meadowbrook thinking they're the underman team might want to play that mental game with the Colts. So, Walker and Singleton on the tip gets to Nick Lazakis. Quick pass down to Bexley Woodard, and right off the bat, Woodard knocks down the tray. We've got a foul early. Three-pointer's going to be good.
Secondary offense by John Glenn off the tip. Meadowbrook unable to scramble defensively. I think they were trying to get lined up, but then just a spot up that time and then just a bang for the three.
Right off the get-go, and that's the last thing Meadowbrook wanted to do. And as you said, the Muskies come out full court pressure. Foul, by the way, was on Caleb Larrick, his first. No, turnover here by the Colts. Over to Nick Lazakis, finds an opening, kicks it back out to Woodard. Woodard misses this shot. Rebound by the big man Caleb Larrick. Caleb Larrick goes up. He gets the 2, 5-0 John Glenn.
Last time Meadowbrook had the ball after the basket, they got trapped right at midcourt. So it was like 7 defenders. There it is again. John Glenn does not double team this trip.
Singleton takes it down the lane and makes a nice pass to fellow senior Cordell West. He knocks down the 2, 5-2. John Glenn leads Meadowbrook. Nick Lazakis up to Woodard again, his third three-point attempt. No good. Rebound by Easton Eibel, his second game back from a foot injury. Trips, gets the ball to Huey. Justice Huey across court to Dane Singleton. Dane loses control and it goes off of, and it looks like John Glenn got a fingernail on it, and it's going to go out underneath to Meadowbrook.
Yeah, the pace right now for Meadowbrook, very quick. I think they need to settle down a little bit. They don't want to track meet.
No, they do not want to track meet. They want to slow this thing down. Dane Singleton over to Gunnar Davis. Gunnar Davis tried to hit Eibel, throws it away, and They're going to say it was off of Meadowbrook, so it's going to be John Glenn ball.
And the passing distance between the wing and the corner, just not enough distance and too hard of a pass. Looks like Meadowbrook's going to be in man.
This Lyric again goes to work on Singleton. He kicks it out to Walker. Walker busts the three. That will be Nathan Walker's 16th three-pointer on the year. Muskies lead the Colts 8-2 here in the early minutes of the first quarter. Eibel breaks the press himself, kicks it out to Cordell West. West out to Justice Huey, being guarded pretty closely by Nick Lazakis. Wall's always a good defender guarding Eibel. Back out to Huey. Huey dribbles to his left, finds Eibel, who's being closely contested by Nathan Walker. The floater by Eibel's no good. Rebound by Walls. Walls hits Walker, drives down the right side of the floor to the middle, to Nick Lazakis. A one-hand pass, a very nice pass, and that went to Caden Walls. Two-point basket there by Caden Walls.
Yeah, let's go back and talk about first for the Meadowbrook offense, if we might. Not a lot of ball screens against the John Glenn man, and so you're almost in a one-on-one situation for Meadowbrook. That being the case, you're inviting double teams.
Right.
They're going to the corners, and that's where the double teams are at its best for John Glenn. So I'm thinking in the timeout, Coach Jarrett maybe said, hey, we've got to set a couple of ball screens. Defensively for Meadowbrook, they're falling into a situation of what we call follow the leader, where as soon as a cutter goes through, they trail them rather than flattening out and seeing the principle of seeing the ball where it's out on the wing and the man going away from the ball on the wing.
Good analysis there, Howard. 10-2, John Glenn leads Meadowbrook, 5:41 in the first. Another turnover, and this time Nick Lazakis misses the floater. Rebound by Singleton. And we're going to have Cordell West got caught carrying, palming, however you want to call it, the ball.
Yeah, again, trying to go just too quickly. They had some success when they centered the ball earlier with Huey. I think if you're Meadowbrook, you probably have to have the ball in Huey's hands against this pressure.
Huey, the quarterback on the football team, had a great year. Used to leading the team. Three-pointer missed this one by Walker, but Bexley Woodard with the rebound out to Walls. Walls looks underneath to Lyric, and we're going to have a jump ball situation. Good hustle there by Delancey, Singleton, and Lyric. Possession arrow is going to go toward Meadowbrook. Checking in for the Meadowbrook Colts is going to be Jacob Burris. Just a freshman, Jacob, 5'9" freshman. The Colts will play at least two freshmen tonight, and the Muskies have a couple freshmen that may see time tonight as well.
Diamond in one press for John Glenn, so look for the quick trap. If they don't get it on the first initial pass in, they'll trap it midcourt where they can use the sideline and the half-court line.
So Delancey's going to inbound it in an odd location in front of the John Glenn student section. I think we're going to get a warning. Caden Walls might be stepping over the line, so he has to give a little bit of room there for Delancey to inbound the basketball. So here we go again, back to Delancey taking it out of bounds. He goes deep to Singleton, who fumbles the ball, and it was stolen away by Bexley Woodard.
Fourth turnover
already by the Colts. That's an area of concern for Coach Taryn Jarrett, and it has been all season. Walls takes the point, gets a backdoor cut, out to Woodard for three. Woodard hits his second three on the night. He has 6 points. Muskies lead 13-2 over the Colts. Nice pass by by Eibel, and he finds a wide open Colton Delancey for his first basket on the night. 13-4, John Glenn.
Yeah, John Glenn had sold out on the press, and Meadowbrook able to beat it over the top.
So Walls tries to look into Lyric. Walls takes that 15-footer. It may have been tipped, and they're going to call and one. I believe they're going to get Dane Singleton, but Caden Walls knocks down a tough 15-foot shot over the much taller Dane Singleton. And they're going to get Singleton for his first foul.
And you know that's tough because you're struggling as a team and you teach your kids, you close out the shooter, rush at him, which is exactly what Singleton did, and his free throw is good. He just couldn't stop himself.
He
so
couldn't.
Doing the right thing, and they lose 3 points.
However he fouled him, it changed the trajectory of the spin of the ball. I did notice that, so I didn't know if it were tipped or if he hit him on the elbow or what had happened. So the pressure continues here. John Glenn being relentless defensively, and that's going to be another turnover. The inbounds pass went off of Easton Eibel's hands, and John Glenn will get possession again. Checking in for the Little Muskies, Noah Winland, number 5. He's a 6'1 junior, also the quarterback of the Muskies. Little 5-out offense. Mishandled a little bit by Winland. Kicks it out to Nelson Cameron, who knocks down his 7th three of the year. 19-4, 15-point lead here for John Glenn. We're right at the halfway point of the first quarter, almost a backcourt call there, Howard.
Yeah, 1 foot over, 1 foot behind.
Nice cut there into Delancey. Delancey's going to knock that down all night. That's his 4th point on the night. 19-6. Back out to Woodard. Woodard misses the long 3. Long rebound. Save. Ball controlled by Singleton, who finds I was in a 1-on-2 situation. He backs it out. Now he's going to drive in, and they're going to get a foul. And it looks like that's going to be on Steele Bates, the freshman, who's checked in for the Little Muskies. Also checking in now for John Glenn is going to be 5'7 junior Lane Hall. 3:33 left here in the first quarter. John Glenn leads Meadowbrook 19-6. Inbound to Dane Singleton. Singleton finds Cordell West, and West walked with the basketball there.
Tight call that time, and that's a tough one because you make the inside pivot, and maybe you drug the foot just a little bit. Tough call.
I'll tell you what, these officials are right on the footwork tonight. That's a carry and a travel there by West in the first quarter. Meadowbrook tries to trap, unsuccessful. John Glenn recognizes the defense. Lane Hall over to Walker. Walker, one of the better athletes in the area. He may have gotten away with a travel, but a nice move there by Nathan Walker. Nathan Walker with his 5th point on the night. More pressure applied here, and they're going to get Steele Bates that time.
Coming back to the last time that John Glenn had the basketball, Meadowbrook in an extended 2-3, almost a man look, but they're sagging back to make it look like a 2-3. But however, they just didn't allow for the help defense from the middle of that 2-3 to come over in an easily baseline drive for Meadowbrook.
Exactly.
That's going to have to be tightened up.
So 3 3-pointers already in the quarter by John Glenn. They lead 21-6. Another turnover by Meadowbrook. Lane Hall over to Steele Bates. Bates goes up, he misses it. Rebound by Winland. Winland's going to be fouled. So that's going to send Noah Winland to the line for 2. They got Cordell West on the foul. That's his first. So 2:40 left here in the first quarter. 21-6. John Glenn leads Meadowbrook. I'm Mike Snively, joined by Howard Twiggs. We're on the NASH Icon and YRPtv tonight. Winland's first shot, up and nothing but the bottom of the net. Couple more subs, Dane Singleton and Gunnar Davis checking in for the orange and white. You know, another thing too I've noticed, Howard, I come to a lot of John Glenn games, Meadowbrook games. John Glenn's had large crowds all year.
Good crowd.
Always bring good crowds.
Good crowd. Why not?
Why not? What else there to do, right? Second shot up and no good. Bates tries to control it with just his left hand only. Unsuccessful.
Right,
so 1 out of 2 for Winland.
Let's see if Meadowbrook's tightened up their press offense. Screen away.
Davis inbounds it to Delancey.
To the middle, good.
And a nice play there to Singleton. And
Very good.
They broke the press really well. DeVillez checks in, Dane DeVillez. And that's good work there by Meadowbrook. Singleton just can't come up with the rebound, gets his own rebound. Fights, highly contested shot there by Larrick. John Glenn gets the ball down real quick. 3-point attempt there by Nelson Cameron, no good off the backboard. Lane Hall, and I'm not sure who made that one. That was Lyric. Okay, I had my head down for a second, but Lyric gets the putback for 2. 24-6, John Glenn leads the Colts with under 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Singleton down on the post, goes up against Lyric, tries to go underneath with the reverse layup, no good, and they're going to get Colton Delancey on the foul. And I like to say over the back, but there's, from what I understand, you can't say over the back.
It is now, if you go straight up vertical, it is no longer a foul. And something else that's been greatly reduced, Mike, is the 3-second call.
Yeah, there's
ain't no more of those.
Right. But I still like the person in the crowd that's screaming 3 seconds, 3 seconds.
Or over the back.
Over the back,
nope,
yes.
It's now, if you're going up vertical, it's not a foul. Double team.
Gets double team, gets out of it, gets it out the lane hole, back into Lyric. Lyric working against Singleton, 2 big guys going at it down here. And if ever there was 3 seconds, I think they just called 3 seconds. I think, no lie, Howard, they called a 3-second call there. What are the chances?
And if we don't mention that again, there'll be no more 3-second calls.
So turnover there by the John Glenn Muskies. Delancey gets the ball, and he's in a heap of trouble. May have got a way of travel, and no, he did not.
He did not.
So a turnover there, another turnover. Meadowbrook right now just struggling big time with 8 turnovers here in the, we haven't played 7 minutes yet.
And it has been frenetic, shall we say?
Yeah, very. So inbound to number 13, Nelson Cameron. Cameron over to Steele Bates. Bates out to Winland. Back in there, still working into Lyric. Lyric makes a nice pass. There's a 3-point attempt and knocked in by Nelson Cameron. His second tray on the night. That gives the Muskies a 21-point lead here late in the first quarter, and I think they got to travel on Dane Singleton. So 9 turnovers in the quarter. This is kind of what I saw last week against Maysville, just a rough first half of turning the ball over.
Yeah, and and officials have to call what officials see, but they're close.
They're ticky-tack. They
really are.
They are ticky-tack. I will say that.
Meadowbrook's doing the right thing. They're centering the basketball in the press offense. And it's just a shame that, and I'm not blaming the officials, that it has to be that night where the officials call it close.
Right. So Davillas comes up with the ball, struggles, gets possession back, and now he's going to get fouled. And it looks like they're going to get Lane Hall. That's going to be his first, so that's going to be the team 4th on the John Glenn Little Muskies. 33 seconds. John Glenn leads 27-6. Inbound, almost a backcourt violation there by the Colts.
Probably should have been. He had possession.
The way they've been calling it tonight, you thought it might have been. Gunnar Davis hits a cutting Colton Delancey. Delancey's got about a 12-footer on the baseline. Bang. He knocks it down. Colton Delancey with his 6th of the 8 points tonight for Meadowbrook. So we're under 10 seconds here. Muskies play for last shot. Back in to Lyric. Lyric against Singleton. And it's going to be a turnover created by Dane Singleton, and they're not going to get a shot off. So at the end of the first quarter, John Glenn leads Meadowbrook 27-8. You're listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv.
Are you paying too much for homeowners insurance? Has your insurance company raised your deductible? Hi, this is John Valentine with Valentine Insurance. Many people can't accurately answer these questions. With many premiums escrowed into mortgages, homeowners don't pay attention to changes to their policies anymore. It's time you visit Valentine Insurance for a true, no-obligation review of your insurance policy. Call 994-1776 or stop by our office at 739 Southgate Parkway in Cambridge.
The Rogers Company congratulates the Meadowbrook Colts team on a great season. The team at Rogers Company works hard too to earn your business. They inspect, install, and repair all makes and all models of furnaces, humidifiers, and air purifiers. Don't be left out in the cold. Give them a call at 740-685-8677.
Welcome back to New Concord. Mike Snively joined by Howard Twiggs in this MBL crossover big school, small school matchup. John Glenn leads 27-6. Howard?
Yeah.
Any key first half stats?
Well, turnovers 9-3. You had mentioned it, the Meadowbrook with the 9 turnovers, just 3 for John Glenn. John Glenn out-rebounds the Colts in the first quarter, 9-4. John Glenn has the basketball.
And here we go, second half action, or second quarter action, I should say. John Glenn with Bexley Woodard out up the top of the key. Hands it off to Will Nikolazakis. Caden Walls drives middle. Another 15-footer, no good. Rebound by Jacob Burris, the freshman. John Glenn, after the miss, stays in a press. Huey gets it across to Burris. Burris to Huey. Huey being guarded by Lane Hall. Huey trying to direct some traffic here. Looking for a cleaner quarter. Nice pass by Dane Singleton. Good passing big man Dane has been all season. Zayden Yeagle has entered the contest for the Colts. He finds Justice Huey. Now we're going to have, there's a lot of trapping going on in this. Here's a steal by Caden Walls. Caden Walls, steal and basket. Nice play, nice defensive play there by Caden Walls. Showed a lot of quickness. Once again, a lot of trouble inbounding the ball and taking care of the ball, but
I want to go back to, Mike, if I could, the first possession by Meadowbrook. I think they have to stay with that. Take your time. Really make John Glenn work. They're not going to beat this team or stay close by quick shots. Take your time. Make John Glenn work. Try to get a good shot.
And they did a couple times when they did get it to the middle to Singleton like they did here. And then Singleton just going to have to square up and take good care of it, because I tell you what, John Glenn does a good job doing. Once the ball gets advanced, they chase you. And they've got some fresh legs coming in.
Yeah, it would be a good move for Meadowbrook's guys to think about the inside pivot.
Yeah.
When you center the ball.
Turn, pivot, and square up.
Yeah, on that inside pivot, you've got a better chance to pass.
Nikolazakis steals the pass, and he finds Caden Walls with a nice left-hand layup. Caden Walls with 9 points on the night. John Glenn leads 31-8. Long pass from Huey to Burris. Burris back to Huey, and they're going to get, I believe, Nikolazakis on the foul. That's going to be his first, and that should be the team sixth. Could be, yeah, it's going to be the team sixth.
Sideline out of bounds. So Meadowbrook may throw back to the backcourt just to try and ease some of that pressure, because it's going to be a quick trap off the inbounds pass.
Ivel comes through the double screen. Nothing doing, and really close to that backcourt violation. Yeagle finds Singleton. Singleton goes to the basket. He misses it. Rebound by Walker. Walker brings it up. Kicks it out to Lane Hall. Lane Hall's going to chuck a three. He misses it. Rebound by Singleton. Huey looks deep, decides not to. Over to Eibel. Eibel brings it up to the right side of the court, finds Zayden Yeagle. Zayden Yeagle from three, no good. Rebound by Nathan Walker. Walker glides it up the court. Tough shot. And I think they're going to get, it's either going to be on Singleton or Burris.
That pace, Meadowbrook can't keep up with, Coach. Just coming down and just, one pass, one shot, that's not going to work. They need to be patient, but that's hard. You're down 31-8. What else are you going to do? Well, you got to stay within the focus of what we want to do.
It's hard to play slow. It really is. And
however, in this one, they need to slow down.
Walker knocks down the first free throw. He's a 70% free throw shooter on the year. Walker comes in averaging 16 points a game. Walker, one of the better linebackers in the NBL football. And knocks down the second free throw. More pressure here by the Muskies. 33-8 here, 5:49 in the second quarter. Singleton helping alleviate the pressure. Nice give and go back to Singleton. And that's Singleton's first basket on the night. Meadowbrook's going to call a timeout. And is it going to be a full one, Howard? I believe it's going to be a full timeout. So you are listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv.
How can you select from insurance companies offering you lizards or ducks? When it comes to protection for your home and auto, you want a company that provides quality insurance products and personalized, fair, friendly claims service. WB Green Insurance represents Westfield Insurance. Their reputation is based on sharing knowledge and building trust. Westfield has been around the neighborhood over 150 years. WB Green Insurance welcomes the opportunity to quote your home, car, and business insurance. Don't be fooled by lizards and ducks. Call 439-1329.
Welcome back to New Concord on the campus of John Glenn High School as the John Glenn Pep Band belts out little Village People YMCA.
That's your era, man. Weren't you up there dancing with the...
I'm up here. I don't know how to spell YMCA, Howard, but...
You stayed there, though.
yeah, that's true.
You had a good meal.
So John Glenn's going to have the ball. They lead 33-10, 23-point lead with 5:39 here in the second quarter. Mike Snively with Howard Twiggs.
Now, I think the reason that timeout for John Glenn is their half-court defense was just not where Coach Sheck wanted it to be. You know, when you sell out double teaming everything, you invite a lot of backdoor opportunities, right, which is what Meadowbrook did. I think that's what he tried to get the attention of his guys
Make
about.
that one simple adjustment. Sometimes it does help. So Woodard goes to the hole. He goes up strong with his left hand. Woodard knocks down his 8th point on that left-handed layup. 35-10, 25-point lead for John Glenn. Walls playing with his active hands. Nick Lazakis chases, and Walls comes from behind, who then gets it to Nick Lazakis, who kicks it out to Walker for 3, and that shot is good. Walker knocks down his 17th 3 on the year and his 2nd of the night.
He is really a good shooter on the run.
28-point lead here for the maroon and white. Eibel finds Delancey. Delancey over the top to Singleton. Singleton tries to go underneath to Mason Campbell, the freshman who's entered the game, but it's stolen away by Will Nick Lazakis. Nick Lazakis to his left, takes Huey to the hole, keeps going underneath the goal. Over to Steele Bates, the freshman. Back out to Nick Lazakis, and Walker's wide open, but it was blocked by Singleton, but they're going to get Singleton for the foul. And that's going to be, I believe, Singleton's 3rd? Yeah, that's going to be 3rd, and that's bad news for Meadowbrook because Singleton is the one and only inside presence for the Colts.
Now, what happened that time for Dane is that he allowed the cutter to come to the basketball rather than bodying him up as he was cutting through the lane. First free throw is good. He simply just let the offensive player come through to the ball side block, and then he played follow the leader and got caught with the foul.
So Dane's going to have to come sit out. Checking in for the Colts for Dane Singleton was Gunnar Davis.
That's, by the way, that's a film thing I think you can work on if you're Meadowbrook.
I think so. Another free throw, 4 for 4 on the night. Nathan Walker is going to up that free throw percentage, 40-10. John Glenn leads the Colts. Eibel's directing traffic for the Colts. Over to Colton Delancey, and this time Easton Eibel zigged, and Colton Delancey thought he was going to zag, and he threw it into the second row.
13 turnovers. They're halfway of where they average on the season. However, there's still 4:11 to go second quarter.
So new players in. Nelson Cameron taking over the point guard for the Little Muskies. Trying to play a 2-man game with Caleb Larrick. Called him Noah twice tonight, as his brother. And shot no good. Rebound by Burris. Burris out to Campbell, freshman to freshman. Campbell shoots a 17-footer, no good. Rebound by Noah Windland. Windland clears it up. Goes to the hole against Eibel. Finds nothing there. Shot by Nelson Cameron. That's an air ball. Rebound by Easton Eibel. Eibel finds a wide open Gunnar Davis, and he takes it in, and he's got 2 points. Just the 4th point in the quarter for the Colts. Hustling down the court to Larrick, and they're going to get an offensive foul on Caleb Larrick. Easton Eibel did a good job of hustling, getting back, setting his feet, getting position, and gets the offensive foul. A couple more subs checking in. Dane DeVillez checks in for the Colts. Continuing pressure by the John Glenn Muskies, full court, and that's a steal by Nelson Cameron, but right back it goes to Eibel. Eibel out to DeVillez. DeVillez goes one hand, right hand all the way, and that's DeVillez's first 2 points. 40-14, John Glenn leads. Shot no good by Steele Bates. And just a little bit of momentum heading the Colts' way.
You know, and I think for Coach Sheck, he has to be just a little bit disappointed at what's going on with the mental side of things for John Glenn.
A little careless.
Yeah, I know you've got the big lead in the games, you know, surely not in doubt, but they've lost some focus.
Yeah, just a little bit of focus. And as a coach, you think 15, 16, 17-year-olds should never lose focus. You know how that goes, Howard.
Yeah, and we shouldn't have given up 14 at this point.
I know some 50-year-old men in my household that lose focus. So, inbounds to Eibel. Eibel gets it across against a double team. Looking for back doors. DeVillas comes up, alleviates a little bit of pressure there. Over to Colton Delancey. A lot of passing and cutting here by the Colts. I do see a semblance of an offense, and that was a good play, just bobbled the ball, but Delancey picks it up. No good, had a good look, but a good offense there.
Good screen and roll.
Nice pass from Bates into Noah Windland. Windland's going to get the and one, but a very good look there by the freshman. Steele Bates makes about a 45-foot pass and finds the open Windland.
And, you know, this is so real when it happens, when you've got a really not-so-good team against a really good team. You set up a good play offensively on the screen and roll, it doesn't convert. And then on the other end, some guy from the good team's basket hanging.
Yeah.
And you give up a cheapie.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no justice, Coach.
No, you're exactly right. Noah Windland, he's going to go. He's a 60% free throw shooter. His shot is up. Touches nothing but the bottom of the net. More pressure here. 31-point lead here. 29-point lead here by the Muskies, Little Muskies. I always confuse Muskingum Muskies, Muskingum University, for John Glenn, who is known as the Little Muskies. But the Colts find Cordell West into Colton Delancey. Delancey, they're probably going to get him with a travel. He did pick up his pivot foot, got that extra step, but it didn't go unnoticed by the official.
Not a good number for Meadowbrook. They have 15 turnovers, 14 points.
Yeah, that's not good. Woodard wide open, and I think he walked. No basket. He made the three, but it looks like there's going to be a foul called on, I think it was Larrick.
That's going to
on
be,
the push.
Yeah, 2 inside calls on John Glenn in the last couple of 3 possessions. So officials, I think, recognizing that maybe we need to tighten it up a little bit under the basket. Coach Sheck wanting an explanation from the official.
Bexley's saying, Caleb, my shot went down, but you fouled before it went in.
And Caleb saying, not really. He called it, but not really.
So both big men on the bench with 3 fouls. Singleton with 3 for the Colts, Larrick with 3. And Burris this time just a little bit too much mustard on that hot dog.
Coach Larrick or Coach Sheck and Larrick having an animated conversation, I think, about that foul. I think Larrick's pretty adamant that it wasn't a foul. Coach Sheck saying, well, guess what? It is.
Larrick's physical. He's physical.
Yeah.
He's clean, though. A very nice pass into Windland. Windland gets his 6th point on the night. 45-14. John Glenn. Cordell West gets his first shot attempt of the night. No good. Rebound by Nathan Walker. Walker out to Lane Hall, who beats everybody down, but no good. Good hustle back by Cordell West to stop that layup. And it looked like Huey was going to make a pass and decided I can't make that pass and got called for the carry.
Yeah, 1:08 to go in the first half, 45-14. This game, I think, would have the same result if there were no officials. I think it would be 45-14. Wouldn't you think?
If it were a pickup game and you watched, yes, I would have to agree with you on that one, Howard. So under a minute here to play. John Glenn leads by 31. And there's a travel there. I'll tell you what, they are all over it. This time they got Nelson Cameron for the travel. For those out there who do not know, in the second half, if the lead gets above 35, we have a running clock situation. And
that was that, yeah.
Okay, that was the most, Huey turned his head. Delancey threw it into Huey. It went off of Huey's head and right back into Delancey's arms. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, Howard.
Not on a basketball court, maybe soccer.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Nonetheless, John Glenn gets the ball up 31. but with the 30, and Bexley Woodard, who must have the green light because he's been chucking it up all night, but he's a good shooter. He's worked on it, so he deserves the green light. Yeagle over to Burris. Burris over to Cordell West. West goes, he's stopped. Going to be a three-point attempt here by Delancey. No good. Long rebound by West over to Huey. Huey from the baseline. Basket good by Justice Huey. His first two on the night. 45-16. 13 seconds left here in the half. Muskie's going to hold for one. Walker goes to the basket, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Nathan Walker.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Nathan Walker's first, and that's not what Coach Scheck wanted.
No. He's, tell you what, and this is going to sound crazy, Coach Scheck has some things to clean up in the locker room at halftime.
Certainly. Both teams in Meadowbrook, got to give them credit. Playing hard, playing defense. Their second charge taken tonight. Ball tipped out of bounds by Lane Hall. 4.7 left here. 29-point lead for the Little Muskies. Clancy out of bounds. It's going to be pressured. Long inbounds. Stolen by Woodard. No good on the shot. And no, Cameron. And did they count the basket?
Yes.
They counted it by Noah Winland, who just got it off in the nick of time. So that's going to bring us to halftime here at Meadowbrook. Or I'm sorry, at John Glenn. So from John Glenn leads Meadowbrook 47-16. You are listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv. We'll be right back.
Our community is a special place, and you work hard to make a living and build a good life for you and your family. It's not always easy. You deserve a local financial partner to be there when you need them most. At Woodsfield Savings Bank, we live, work, and play here. Our cutting-edge technology combined with local decision-making allows us to deliver unmatched personal service. Let us start earning your trust today. Woodsfield Savings Bank. It's personal here.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FREE for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FREE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FREE for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
I'm not buying till I check on for.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at doanford.com.
Now located at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell, Ohio. Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a mutual insurance company established in 1896 for the purpose of providing insurance coverage to rural Ohio. They offer a product to meet your insurance need, whether it is for a farm, rental dwelling, home in town, secondary or seasonal dwelling, churches, or mobile home. They partner with Grinnell Mutual Insurance Company to offer liability coverage to package with their patrons Buckeye Mutual policy. Call today at 638-3604 and follow them on Facebook at Patrons Buckeye.
The Rogers Company congratulates the Meadowbrook Colts team on a great season. The team at Rogers Company works hard, too, to earn your business. They inspect, install, and repair all makes and all models of furnaces, humidifiers, and air purifiers. Don't be left out in the cold. Give them a call at 740-685-8677.
Halftime here in New Concord, where the John Glenn Little Muskies lead the Meadowbrook Colts 47-16. I'm Mike Snively, joined by Howard Twiggs in this MBL big school, small school crossover matchup. Howard, it's kind of what we expected. John Glenn's turned it into a track meet.
Yep.
And Meadowbrook's decided to participate in the track meet, and it hasn't went well with taking care of the basketball.
No, they've by my count, and I could be off by a couple, I've got the Colts with 18 turnovers, and that's just not going to get it done. But, part of there's two parts to the turnovers. Is number one is that you don't have a good enough athletic group to handle the press offense. Secondly is when you get into the half court, if you're Meadowbrook, you just haven't been able to ball screen. They've had a couple of backdoor looks, which has been very positive.
Yes.
But they've really had very little continuity offense, which is really what you need. In order to beat a team like John Glenn, and John Glenn is a good team, they're 8-7, but they're a good basketball team. But I think they sell out so much defensively in the half court that I think if you move the basketball and ball screen, I think you can get some good looks at the basket. So I think for Meadowbrook, as crazy as it sounds, they need to slow down.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% with you. And another positive for Meadowbrook, they're hustling defensively. They're getting back. They're trying to prevent layups. They're taking a few charges. John Glenn's just more athletic right now and has more fresh bodies.
I'll tell you, let's make a point here for Coach Jarrett, too. This is a young man who walked into some great success last year, has found out this year, what a season could be all about when you don't have the kids, so to speak. I've not noticed one kid from Meadowbrook hanging his head.
No, they've done
I mean, honest to goodness,
they have not.
You're down 47-16, and they're playing hard. Give this guy, Coach Jarrett, props. I mean, I'm telling you what, I'm not sure I could do it. Could you do it?
I'm not sure I could do it either, Howard. But Coach Jarrett's done a fantastic
Absolutely.
job. He's kept a positive attitude. He's got his kids playing. Conversely speaking, with Coach Eric Scheck, he's got some guys that can shoot it. He's got some speed on the team. He's got some athletes, and they're doing a good job of chasing down the ball in this press.
And you know what? And yes, they're winning convincingly, and they'll win by a ton. Let's face it. But it's almost a situation tonight where Meadowbrook has everything to gain, and John Glenn has everything to lose.
That's true.
Because you're starting to get picky for John Glenn about the little things you're not doing, the little things you should be doing. Why are we doing this? Why are we not winning 100-0? When forcing 27 turnovers. So John Glenn, it's almost like this is a game that it doesn't help you.
Right, and they you start overthinking things at this point. If you're John Glenn, what are some things we need to work on? Well, I want to go over some scoring here. Let's go with Meadowbrook first. Cordell West had 1 basket for 2 points. Gunnar Davis had 1 basket for 2 points. Colton Delancey had 3 baskets in the first quarter for the Colts. He led them with 6. Justice Huey had a basket for 2. Dane DeVillas had a basket for 2. And Dane Singleton had a basket for 2. I got no foul shots for Meadowbrook. Meadowbrook did not attempt a free throw in that first half. Let's look at John Glenn. Caleb Larrick, who has 3 fouls, didn't play a lot in the second quarter with the 3 fouls. He has 2 baskets for 4 points. Caden Walls, he's got 4 baskets and a free throw. 1 for 1 at the line, 9 points. Noah Winland, he's got 8 points on 2 of 3 shooting from the line. Nelson Cameron, he has 2 trifectas for 6 points. Nathan Walker, he led the John Glenn team with 12 points. He had 2 threes. He was also 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. And Bexley Woodard, he has 8 points for the Little Muskies. Any more rebounding statistics or you got for us, Howard?
Well, let's go with turnovers. John Glenn, just 5 turnovers in the half. Meadowbrook 18. Rebounding from Meadowbrook, they had 10, including 8 defensively. For John Glenn, they had 17 rebounds, including 12 defensively. Muskies 17 of 35 from the field. And Meadowbrook are not bad in 8 out of 20, but I think for me to start the second half, I'm just wondering if John Glenn is going to have the plan. Do we want to work on other things in this second half, or do we just want to play it out and go from there?
Play a pickup game, so to speak.
So, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what Coach Scheck decides to do. That's a tough situation because, you say, well, let's work on some things. Well, it's not the same as when you work on things to start a basketball game that you've prepared for an opponent for the previous 3 or 4 days before the game. So, when I say work on some things, do they want to stop pressing or maybe just press half court?
Yes.
Do they want to soften up the man? Do they want to fly a shooter? What does John Glenn want to do defensively in the second half? I'll be curious to see what Coach Scheck has decided to do.
I am too. I'm just, and I thought about this too, Howard. On Friday, both these teams played. On Saturday, both these teams played. And now it's Tuesday. So both of these teams are on their third game in 5 days. So I don't know if that has anything to do on the effect of a young high school kid's legs. But this is game 3 in 5 games.
Yeah, and by the way, Friday night, you and I will be at Philo to see these Muskies, and we'll know a lot more just how they stack up against a better opponent away from the friendliness of their gym.
Philo, 4-6 in the MVL. They are at New Lex, who's playing pretty well, who beat a good Tri-Valley team the other night. The game of the night in the MVL was Sheridan. They're visiting the undefeated Maysville and state-ranked Maysville Panthers. Crooksville's at Morgan tonight. Tri-Valley's at Riverview, and Coshocton is at West End. West End, another good team out of that small school league. You got New Lexus playing really well, as is West End. Coach Jeff Rinkus really got the ball rolling over there at West Muskingum. And then, as you said, next week we are at Philo.
This Friday, yes.
This Friday we are at Philo. We're going to switch roles. Howard's going to be my play-by-play guy over there. He's got to do all the work. And I'm just going to come in and sip on coffee and talk a little bit of strategy.
Tell some lies, have some strategy.
Tell some stories. So we're going to start it here in the second half. Both teams, it's like with their starters, starting the second half. And that's a turnover. Gunnar Davis tried to get it into Singleton, stolen by Woodard. Walls crosses the court, finds Nick Lazakis. He shoots the floater just a hair strong, but it goes down. So Will Nikolazakis with his first basket on the night. Makes it a 33-point lead.
I want to come back to Meadowbrook when they had the ball before. Always make bounce passes to post people. That's the reason it was knocked away. That's, again, a coaching point that Coach Jarrett will do it in films.
I agree, and I believe they called a charge on Nathan Walker, which I'm not real sure.
No.
That was the correct call. Looked like Huey might have just snuck underneath him there at the last minute. So that's going to be Walker's second personal foul.
It's going to bring Coach Scheck off the bench, and I guarantee you we can't hear him, but he's saying, I don't care what the score is. You got to call what the right call is.
Okay, so what's going on here, I think? One guy had a block, one guy had a charge, and they're trying to figure out which is which. So, and I think they're just going to go with the charge call, offensive foul.
And that's Coach Scheck saying, hey, get it right, boys.
I've seen that before. One guy calls something, the other guy calls the opposite.
Yeah, it was a block.
Turned over almost. Woodard always out in the passing lanes. I've noticed that about Bexley Woodard, the 6'3" senior who's greatly improved his game over the last few years. Become quite the player for the Little Muskies. Eibel, point guard, gets it over to Singleton. Colts have it spread out here. Almost thrown away, but controlled there by Easton Eibel. Eibel, as mentioned, back for his second game back, and a nice move there by Easton Eibel, who gets his first basket of the night.
Just lazy defense by John Glenn, not helping out.
49-16. I'm sorry, that's 49-18. 49-18, 31-point lead here, and a nice, easy layup there for Nathan Walker. Maybe the two easiest points of his career. The Meadowbrook defender fell down, left him wide open for the bunny. 51-18, 33-point lead, 6-19.
Pardon me, no press for John Glenn here in the second half.
No press. John Glenn might want to work on that half-court defense. Singleton dribbles off his foot, and that's going to be a turnover. Checking in is going to be Colton Delancey. I heard the 50-50 winner. Howard, this year I won the 50-50 here this year. $110.
You know the rule about sharing, don't you?
No, I don't.
When we go off air, I will tell you.
That's a very nice up and under there by Caleb Lyric, and I believe the 35-point rule is now in effect. So unless Meadowbrook gets this thing under 30, this clock's going to be running. Colts in a 5-out situation here offensively. Huey takes the jumper. He misses it, and that's going to be knocked off of Colton Delancey. And checking in for Jacob Burris, is Jacob Burris.
Meadowbrook in a press?
Meadowbrook's going to try to press, but the clock is running. Unfortunately, this year the Colts have found themselves in this situation a lot, but I think it's a great rule by the OHSAA because it really keeps some scores down. Caden Walls breaks the press by himself, down to Lyric. And Lyric makes that easy. That's his 8th point.
Get out of the press
on the night.
Get out of there.
And they are out of it. They are definitely out of the press now. I would say we're going to see just a few more minutes of these starters.
I meant Meadowbrook too, Coach.
Yeah, I agree too. Jacob Burris, no good. Tipped by Caden Walls. Blocked by Walker and goes out of bounds off of Caleb Lyric. Checking in is Dane DeVillas, the 6'1 sophomore. He inbound the ball for the Colts. 4:39 clock running here in New Concord. Pass inbounded to Colton Delancey, guarded by Walker. Out to Eibel. Eibel goes left, throws up with his right. No good. Good move. Just no basket. Nick Lazakis, what a move. Tripped. Ball bounces up, hits him in the face. He keeps control. Out to Walker. Walker shoots a three. He's short. Rebound to Delancey. Delancey gets it across, slows her down, and over to Burris. Burris being chased by Nikola Zakis. DeVillis is going to try to three. No good. Rebound by Walker. Walker grabs it. Up to Woodard. Woodard tried to hit Walls on the back door. Nothing doing there. And it's the pace is kind of slowed down just a little, Howard.
Yeah, I think John Glenn just kind of, again, maybe some adjustments at halftime. Let's just run our man offense and let's not be in a hurry. Let's get some good looks inside.
Here comes the nice move again there.
That's three of
Caleb
those.
Lyric. I'll tell you one thing they've been working on this half is getting the ball into Caleb Lyric, and he's working on his footwork. So we're going to have a timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We will keep it right here. Coach Jarrett takes the timeout.
Well, coming back to what I think John Glenn worked on at halftime, and to their credit is, the game scores is no longer a matter or an issue. Let's work on some of those things. Let's work on some of those post entries, which they've done a nice job on. So what that tells you is that Caleb Laird, hey Caleb, this is a chance. You've got to body up. You've got to make sure you get the size.
Yeah. And let's work on the entry pass too.
Wing people, make it a nice bounce pass to the post, and then you're a little up and under. So nice job by Coach Sheck at halftime of saying, hey, let's work on this.
I agree, and the only time I agree with that lob entry pass is when you do have a 7-footer and he's against a 6'4" guy. There's going to be those incidents when that does happen.
Yeah, and if the guy's playing behind you, obviously,
you can get it over the top. Yeah.
That's kind of how when you play. You post player, right?
Not really. No, I just I was one of those guys that pretty much shot it every time I crossed half court. And hopefully somebody go get it. I shot it a lot. And I didn't play any defense, so that I wasn't well liked. No.
There you have the life story.
I shot it a lot.
The career of one Mike Snively.
Didn't play a whole lot of defense. I might score 20, but I'd give up 30.
And his old coach has said, yep.
All right, so Eibel takes the inbounds over to Burris. Clock running here in a 57-18 margin right now, lead by the Muskies, Little Muskies. and they're going to get Easton Ibel with the travel. And I tell you, I don't think I've seen an officiating crew
very tight,
this tight with the traveling and carry and those calls.
Yeah, here again, I'm not
3
criticizing. Yeah, we saw the one.
Yeah, we saw.
Oh, you said it again, Mike. Way to go. Way to go, Mike. Here comes another one.
So, 2:40 left, clock running here in New Concord. 57-18. Muskies working around. Winland gets to the hole, tapped out on the rebound by Lyric, but then brought down by Delancey. Delancey looked up, found Ibel over to DeVillez. Nice little stop and pop there by Easton Ibel, and that was a good offensive play there by Easton Ibel. He knocks down his 4th point. 50-27, John Glenn leads. And a little bit careless that time, Noah Winland. And we talked about the entry pass. It was a kind of a bullet pass, but it was out of bounds. DeVillas touched it before it went out of bounds.
No turnover, just 5 turnovers for John Glenn here in this game.
Noah Winland, number 5, inbound to Lyric, and Lyric missed the shot and then goes over the top. I didn't say over the back, over the top of the Meadowbrook defender, and he's going to get his 4th foul.
He'll probably have to take a seat, I'm thinking.
Well, you don't, 37-point lead. Maybe he wants to get him some more work. Maybe he wants to get him in shape. So Ibel brings it across. Foot on the line, shoots the 3 in, but he gives him the 3 anyway. So 3-point shot there by Easton Ibel, who has 7 points in the quarter. Lane Hall this time. Got his pass tipped, but then gets the deflection and puts it in. 59-23. Let's just hope things keep running with a smooth flow here. And there's a steal there by Lane Hall. Picks the pocket of Delancey. Lyric over to Winland. Lane Hall out for 3. Big, strong rebound there by Caleb Lyric. He has 8 points in the quarter. He's got 12 on the night. 60-23 as the band returns to play the end of the 3rd quarter song. And a nice little reverse layup there by Dane Singleton. He knocks down his 4th point of the night. Under 30 here, 30 seconds, 60-29. I'm sorry, 60-25. I can't see the clock real well here.
Another basket by
Lyric. Double digits in the quarter. That's his 10th point in the quarter, 14th on the night. 62-25, under 10 seconds. Ibel, he's going to be defended this time, gets it into Singleton. Singleton gets it taken out of his hands, steal baits, and a nice defensive play there by Easton Ibel to save the layup by Lyric. So, at the end of the 3rd quarter here at John Glenn leads Meadowbrook 63-25. You are listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv.
Now located at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell, Ohio. Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance Company is a mutual insurance company established in 1896 for the purpose of providing insurance coverage to rural Ohio. They offer a product to meet your insurance need, whether it is for a farm, rental dwelling, home in town, secondary or seasonal dwelling, churches, or mobile home. They partner with Grinnell Mutual Insurance Company to offer liability coverage to package with their patrons Buckeye Mutual policy. Call today at 638-3604 and follow them on Facebook at Patrons Buckeye.
The Rogers Company congratulates the Meadowbrook Colts team on a great season. The team at Rogers Company works hard, too, to earn your business. They inspect, install, and repair all makes and all models of furnaces, humidifiers, and air purifiers. Don't be left out in the cold. Give them a call at 740-685-8677.
Back at John Glenn, Mike Snively along with Howard Twiggs. John Glenn leads 63-25. I'm hearing reports of a weather advisory out tonight starting at 3 a.m. and lasting until 1 p.m. tomorrow. For all those educators and students out there listening tonight, might be getting their hopes up tonight.
Well, for your sake, my man, let's get some good weather.
Every day's a snow day for you, Howard.
Yes,
every
sir.
day. Every night's Friday, every morning's Saturday.
Did my time, brother.
And yes, you did. Cordell West is going to be called on the foul against Nathan Walker. Neither team, we've never really, only two Only 2 team fouls for both teams.
Yeah, I don't think, Mike, either team's going to be in the bonus. They're not going to really start hammering.
Not with the clock running the way it is.
No.
Nathan Walker gets the roll there. He gets his 6th, right at his average, 16 on the night. Eibel brings it across, guarded by Walls. C.J. Dolan's checked in for the Muskies, as has Justin Stambush.
You know, I kind of like Eibel, Coach. I think he's fearless.
He is. He's a good kid. He plays hard. And
yeah.
His best sport's ahead of him, baseball. Very good baseball
player.
But,
just watching him, I mean, he's not afraid to go to the rack.
No.
You know?
I tell you what, he made one of the biggest shots in Meadowbrook history last year in the district final against Tri-Valley. Rebound comes off, down 3 at the end of the game, knocks it in, sends it to overtime, and Meadowbrook ends up beating Tri-Valley in OT. Justin Stambush goes to the line tonight, shooting free throws. And he misses the first shot. Justin, a 6-foot sophomore. Second shot, up and good. That may be Stambush's first points on the year varsity this year.
Well, good for him.
Congratulations, Justin.
Yep.
Great family. Eibel over to Mason Campbell, who's checked in. Eibel squaring up with the ball, being guarded by Bexley Woodard. Eibel goes up, tough shot. Good defense. Rebound by Walker, who finds Stambush. Stambush bobbles it. And it's still being bobbled around, picked up by Mason Campbell. Campbell finds Eibel. Eibel's been alleviating pressure. And that was a nice move there by Gunnar Davis. Just didn't make the shot.
Got his defender in the air on a little ball fake, pump fake.
As mentioned earlier, C.J. Dolan, a 5'11 freshman in. Couple more subs. Looks like Walker, Woodard, and Walls. Walker, Woodard, and Walls. 3 W's. All going to take a seat. I had to say that twice just to make sure I was saying that right. And pass into Stambush. Nice ball handling. Another nice pass there. And there Stambush misses the left-hand layup. Nice pass, though, by Nick Lazakis. Tell you what, Nick Lazakis, quicker than a house cat. I've noticed that tonight. So Lane Hall's going to guard Eibel. Senior drives to the right, nothing doing. Over to Cordell West. Also checking in is going to be Gavin Bates. Gavin Bates, a 5'11 sophomore for John Glenn. Lane Hall guarding Eibel again. Zayden Yeagle being guarded by Nick Lazakis. Cordell West by Lane Hall, and Lane Hall, I think, just tried to get a foul here.
You know, just too aggressive. They want the ball back.
Yeah.
You know, they see the running clock.
Yeah, and I wanted to see, too, are they trying to sub? No, but Meadowbrook's going to bring in Luke Armbruster. He's going to see his first action on the night. So these guys are all going to be out here getting some of their first action.
With plenty of time, 4 minutes to go, even though the clock is running, a lot of these guys will see probably the most they've seen perhaps all season.
I say shoot it. Get out there and shoot it, guys.
Well, here again.
We're not here to play defense. We're not here to pass it around. Get the ball up in the air.
Here again, we're talking about the guy who never turned down a shot.
Exactly. Get your shots up, guys. All right. Pass deflected into the arms of Nikolazakis. Nikolazakis around the back, over to Dolan. Dolan to Hall. Hall goes to the hole hard. Nice move there by Lane Hall. He gets his 4th point on the night, 68-24. John Glenn leads Meadowbrook. Burris over to DeVilles. DeVilles hands it off to Delancey. A lot of D's and W's tonight. D's and W's. Campbell dips his shoulder, and a nice shot there by the freshman. Mason Campbell gets his first basket on the night. A little fadeaway jumper there. Nicholas Locke's nice pass into Stambush. Stambush goes up, guarded by Armbruster. No good. Rebound Campbell. Campbell out to Burris. Burris sees an open lane, pops from 15 foot. And that was Jake Burris. Jake Burris gets his first 2 points on the night, 68-24. 68-28. The scoreboard here where I'm standing is you can't see the visitors team score well.
As soon as they get to 30, Coach, they'll be good, right?
Yeah, exactly. But my man, Brett Klein on camera here, the producer, I should say, has a score right in front of me, 68-28. Also on camera tonight, Christian Mills. As always, these two guys are doing a fantastic job. Three-pointer there by Colton Delancey, and that is the first three-point basket on the night for the Meadowbrook Colts. Under 2 minutes here, clock running, 68-31. Out of bounds. You know, another thing, too, I was talking to you earlier, Howard, about, you know, you get on YouTube on like a Tuesday night like tonight, I watch a game, and then you can't believe how many games are streamed now. And everything. But the quality that it's done at AVC, these guys do a fantastic job. Ray Shriver up in the booth, or up at the studio, always organizing things. And you got guys, like I said, Brett Klein and Christian Mills. Jaron Aber just doing excellent work.
No complaints.
And that was Nelson Cameron misses that shot. We're about 1:18 left in it. Here comes Steele Bates. He finds C.J. Dolan. Wide open layup. C.J. Dolan. That's his first basket on the night. And now it's just going to be get it up and down the court, maybe one or two passes, Howard? See?
What Delancey wants to do is I think he wanted to go to the rack.
Steal by Dolan. Back goes with his left hand. So C.J. Dolan back-to-back baskets for 4 points.
This is your kind of game right now, because
Yes.
if you've got it, buddy, I'm going to the rack.
Yeah, you got to get it up in the air right now. We're under 44 seconds. Luke Armbruster uses that left hand. Top of the key. Over to DeVillez. Out to Jake Burris. Jacob Burris shoots the left-handed 15-footer. No good. Rebound by DeVillez. DeVillez goes up. Good shot there by Dane DeVillez. That's his fourth point on the night. We're below 20 seconds. 72-33. And I think the Little Muskies are going to be content just dribbling this puppy out. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So here in New Concord, I'm Mike Snively along with Howard Twiggs. Final score going to be John Glenn 72, Meadowbrook 33. We'll be back with some post-game analysis and some statistics. You're listening to and watching high school basketball on the NASH Icon and YRPtv.
Our community is a special place, and you work hard to make a living and build a good life for you and your family. It's not always easy. You deserve a local financial partner to be there when you need them most. At Woodsfield Savings Bank, we live, work, and play here. Our cutting-edge technology combined with local decision-making allows us to deliver unmatched personal service. Let us start earning your trust today. Woodsfield Savings Bank. It's personal here.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FREE for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FREE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FREE for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there's one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you'll always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. In business for nearly 60 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood, and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio, I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door, and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
Back here at New Concord, Mike Snively with Howard Twiggs. John Glenn 72, Meadowbrook 33. Game kind of how we kind of anticipated things to go. Howard, we saw some positives from Meadowbrook at times. They never gave up. John Glenn, very athletic, shot the ball well, got to the rim, and just a lot of good positive things both teams we saw tonight. And any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think for both teams. I think for Meadowbrook, you got to hang in there. You got to keep hoping and keep working that, you get that win. I think should they get to that point, I think it's going to just make their whole season, as crazy as it sounds. Maybe 1-21 might be a wonderful hallmark for the season. But for Meadowbrook, you got to keep working. For John Glenn, I think I said it at halftime, I don't know how much they really picked up from this game that's going to help them Friday night.
Right.
Because they're going to go to a decent Philo team right around the 500 mark, as is John Glenn. They moved to 9-7 and 7-3 MVL. So, they're going to go to Philo, and it's one of those games that, and you've been in the situation as a coach, you've got Wednesday and Thursday to practice, and who knows about the weather for tomorrow.
Right.
So, you go into Friday, and it's a coin flip as to how the kids are going to show up.
Right.
Based on such an easy victory tonight. So it'll be very interesting for John Glenn. I'm glad we're going to be there because we're really going to see some of the dynamics of coaching high school basketball when we watch John Glenn this Friday at Philo.
Philo much improved over the last few years. Coach Jason Trout trying to be alumnus of Philo, obviously on a very good state championship team. I think they were runner-up in 99.
They were there, yeah.
They were there, but he's got some athletic players on that team. John Glenn, a big win, 35 points in that first matchup, but it's a little different when you head down to the power plant.
Absolutely, and again, you don't know what's going to happen based on tonight because you didn't get that much from tonight.
Right, you did not. You're exactly right. So I tell you what we'll do. I'm going to go over a couple scoring things here. I'll first start with Meadowbrook. Meadowbrook's going to go to 0-16 on the year. They were led tonight by Colton Delancey. Colton had 9 points and 1 3-pointer. In fact, that was the only 3-point basket by the Colts all night. Cordell West scored 2. Gunnar Davis 2. Easton Ible scored 7. Justice Huey had 2. Dane DeVillas 4. Jacob Burris 4. Dane Singleton 4, held about 6 below his average. Dane's the only double-digit averaging scorer on the team. He had 4, and Mason Campbell had 2. Now for John Glenn. John Glenn was led by Nathan Walker. He scored 16 tonight, and he was 4 for 4 from the line. He also had 2 3-point goals. 16 is right at Nathan's average. Caleb Larrick had 14 points. Lane Hall had 4. C.J. Dolan had 4. Caden Walls had 9 points, and he was 1 for 1 at the line. Noah Winland had 8. Nelson Cameron had 6. By the way, Noah Winland was 2 of 3 at the line. Will Nikolazakis had 2. Bexley Woodard had 8, and Justin Stanbush had 1, as he was 1 of 2 from the line, 8 of 10 from the line for the Muskies on the night. So, I got some people waving to me.
Yo,
and
you've got a crowd. You've got that guy over there, the young man from Meadowbrook. He's been trying to get your attention for 5 minutes.
I want to give a big shout out. Maybe he can come back and watch this.
What's
Jet
our young
Eibel.
man's name?
Jet Eibel. I wanted to give you a shout out, and of course, there's my son Major Snively out here.
You got the whole crowd working,
and they're just sweating like crazy running out there. So they're having fun tonight at the fish tank here, Howard. But Howard and I Friday night, we're going to be at Philo, as he mentioned earlier, and we're going to have the John Glenn at Philo game from the power plant down at, I believe it's Philo Middle School. They use the middle school to play in, but it's a very nice
We will go
gym.
across the bridge,
Across the
Duncan
bridge.
Falls into Philo.
Yep, we will cross the bridge and do that. And, I looked at the schedule, and I can't see. I have to go back and look at my other schedule. Meadowbrook, and I don't know what I did. Maybe it's right here. Meadowbrook, I don't believe, plays Friday night. So let's see here. No, yes, they do. They play at New Lex. So this schedule has them at New Lex. This schedule doesn't have them playing. So I apologize for not being prepared with that.
But they're going to be somewhere.
So they're either at New Lex or they're off. So I tell you what, we're going to finish it up right now. I wanted to thank. Why don't you hit some stats for me real quick?
And then we'll wrap it up.
Hit some stats for me.
Rebounding tonight, John Glenn rebounded the Colts 29-18, including 8 on the offensive end for John Glenn. Turnovers just 7 for the Muskies and 24, which is about their average for the Colts. And then shooting, a very nice 30 of 60 for John Glenn. That includes a lot of layups, a lot of looks by Caleb Larrick in
30
the
of
second
60?
half. 30 of 60?
I believe that's 50%.
Yes,
How'd I do there?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
That's math teacher. And then the Colts just 40 shots, but they managed to make 15. They were just limited on offensive trips.
That's a little better than they had been shooting it.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of those were good shots. So, I mean, they just didn't have enough. When you get outshot by 20, you're struggling. So
just turning over just a little too much. No doubt about that. But I also want to send a big thank you out to our producer, Brett Klein and Christian Mills. Always quality work when these guys are at it, and another quality broadcast. Howard, this is our first time together. I enjoyed it thoroughly. We're back at it again Friday. As we said earlier, we're heading down to Philo, and we will bring you the John Glenn at Philo contest this Friday.
It's been a pleasure, Mike. Everything I heard about you is not true, so I'm certainly looking forward to Friday night.
Oh, that's great. Well, for Howard Twiggs, I'm Mike Snively. Final score here tonight from John Glenn. John Glenn 72, Meadowbrook 33. Everybody have a great night. Good night, everybody.
This has been a presentation of AVC Sports.